Hello everyone and welcome to the new episode of Digibois Watch or whatever the fuck this show is called. I've never been on it before and that's why I'm talking first. My name is Whatta. With me is student. Say something.
Something.
Phantom is here.
Anything's a dildo if you're brave enough, right?
Yeah, that's great. And I also have Ghuntz.
Hey.
Ghuntz, can you say something more so that we can actually hear your voice?
Hey, I'm here.
Yay.
I'm a boring person, so ignore me.
And we have Brandon.
Shoot. It's me, Brandon.
Yeah. And today we've been watching the best show of all time.
Fooly Cooly.
Fooly Cooly.
Fooly
Cooly.
It is the best show, the most masterful show, the meaning of life, the 40-second show. It is just...
Quite possibly one of the best things that will ever be made.
Yes.
It was okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I liked it.
So, me, Student, and Brandon have seen this show like 10 times plus.
I mean, this was like my fourth time.
Okay, Student and Brandon
Well,
and me...
we've all seen it multiple times.
Yeah.
I've seen it about almost 10 times.
Yeah, and I've on like 15 something.
That was probably like the 10th.
Yeah. Ghuntz has seen this just for his second time,
Yes.
and Phantom just watched it for the first time.
Yes. It was entertaining.
Also, Phantom is the Digibois version of Tommy Oliver. You are a clone who has been resurrected in his image.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I'm his secret evil twin brother.
Because you know,
I haven't
you don't just sound like him. You're also a 3D animator, which means that you do the same thing he does.
Wait,
You are
really?
literally Tommy Oliver.
Yeah. You don't have an identity.
We're just gonna call you Tommy.
Yeah.
What was your name again?
Tommy.
My name's Tom.
Yeah, cool.
Great. So, continuing on, we have been watching Fooly Cooly, and we will now be talking about it. Suddenly, we have people in the Discord thingy, but that doesn't matter because we're just gonna keep talking. So, the first episode 1 of Fooly Cooly. We're going to go through plots, then visuals, then themes for each episode. So, who wants to say something about the plot of the first episode?
A woman appears and starts beating a guy, and then he has a penis on his head, and now there's a robot. And things get crazy.
A guy gives birth to a robot via his male penis.
That's on his forehead.
His head.
On his forehead.
Yes. So to sum it all up, we are following the life of Nauta, a young 14-year-old boy. And... No, wait, he's probably like 12. So a 12-year-old boy. And he is constantly horny because he's a kid. And he's in that phase of his life where he can still jack off pretty much whenever he wants. And it's not like a thing. And he just constantly has a boner.
Also, he's surrounded by beautiful girls all the time.
Especially Mamimi, who is so fucking cute. So yeah, it's good. It's generally just like Nauta gets a picture right from his brother, which proves that his brother has a girlfriend in America where he's playing baseball, and it sort of breaks Nauta's heart because he's been looking up to his brother as the symbol of what a proper adult should be like, and now he can't respect his brother anymore, and this kicks off the plot of Fooly Cooly.
So wait. Why can't he respect him for having a girlfriend?
Because
Are
Mamimi
girls
was his
icky to him?
girlfriend. He cheated on Mamimi.
Ah.
Mamimi is his brother's ex-girlfriend when he lived in Japan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why he's heartbroken, and also Mamimi is heartbroken as well, because she sort of knows. There's that scene on the bridge, right, where he says, "You know, my brother in America," and then they get interrupted because she's having a breakdown, right? And it's because he tells her there that his brother has a new girlfriend, and that's sort of where everything comes to a head.
To preface,
Kind of get a
Mamimi
snippet of
is
that on
not
the envelope.
quite the average high school girl.
No, she's
At least
fucked up.
to her classmates.
Yeah, she's
She's
pretty
crazy.
Now, here's my big question. Why would you cheat on a little cinnamon roll like Mamimi?
because you moved to
monster!
America and became a baseball
Because in America, all the
He wanted
big
that-
babes are the
Yeah.
thing, you know?
He has a
Why are you gonna date some fucking
You-
tiny Japanese girl when you
Well,
have
he's a
big
monster.
tits and blonde hair?
Yeah.
Like,
It's just objectively better taste.
Phantom, you remember the scene with Haruko screaming, "No, I must respect others' privacy"?
That's episode 2, though.
Sorry, you cut out there.
it?
What was that?
There's a scene in the first episode where Haruko's standing in a room screaming, "No, I have to respect others' privacy."
Oh yeah, I remember that.
pretty
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah,
sure
that's
that's
where you can
episode 2.
see half the picture, and you can see this big-breasted blonde bimbo that this brother is fucking. In that scene. Anyway,
That is the Asian dream.
yeah, so that is the plot of the first episode.
It's horribly retold.
Yeah.
Horribly.
Yeah, it's like...
We'll get better.
So the visuals, there's a lot of cool shit in this episode.
It's pretty.
It is pretty.
It was very impressive for being one of
Yeah.
the early forays into digital
Like,
animation.
where
in
do
the
we
lots
start
of good
with
CG.
with what looked good here? Like,
I mean, just everything.
yeah,
I mean,
like-
there is no cut that's like wasted animation or looks bad.
And
has,
there's
like a bunch of
always
stills.
something going on. There's always, if not movement, some kind of importance.
It is constantly kinetic. There's like never a, even like still frames have movement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And
Not to mention the character designs by
yeah, these character designs
Gainax
are
regular Sadamoto, who brings it all together.
Yeah.
And-
I actually, the part that stood out to me was that one shot that was actually CG, but I didn't know it was CG because they drew over it, and it was nice.
Yeah.
It's the all-around camera movement shot, and it's really,
That
really
one,
pretty.
yes.
And they do those all throughout the show, but in this one there was a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, a big, like, turning the camera around and...
Yeah, it's this one and the cut in episode 3 that are really using that technique to the fullest extent.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like when you look at this show, though, of course that cut is gonna stick out. But for me, some of the more creative shots are the things I remember from this episode always. Like one of my favorite ones is the shot where they run over Naota with the bike. And then you see Haruko reviving him and stuff, and she's like rolling around in a weird way, where she keeps the same position on her knees, but she's like upside down and rolling around and crawling
And,
here
like,
to there.
popping around
She's
the
like-
frame.
Yeah,
That whole cut is very impressive because she's like moving in 3 dimensions, but it's all animated, so it's like
it's a single cell.
multiple-
They're just moving the same
Yes.
cell back and forth, and it's really cool.
It also goes without saying that this show is super expressive.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Everything is
Oh,
off model
like-
all the time.
but like off model in a way that's
cool.
that
Yeah,
hits when the
it's-
comedy hits, that is
Mhm.
appropriate. You know, it's not off model because it's a lack of skill. Everything is pitch perfect in terms of visuals.
It sort of has that red line quality where it's never not moving. It never has like a
Yes.
flapping lip scene.
Can we talk about the manga part?
Yeah, the manga part's really
Yeah,
cool.
we need
Yeah.
to.
Like Phantom, what do you
That
think
is-
about the manga part as a first time watcher?
It felt like it came out of nowhere. It was very strange.
Mm.
Like, when I first saw it, I was like thinking, why? What? And then they were doing all these puns on Fooly Cooly.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, okay, this seems like it might mean something.
So since you
Because
work
they
It
keep
means
saying it.
everything.
So, since you work in animation and you weren't in the call with us when we were watching this episode, I might as well just tell you this story on air.
Okay.
So, I've watched the director's commentary of Fooly Cooly like several times because it's great.
Okay.
And Tsurumaki is talking to one of his animators who worked on this manga scene during the manga scene. And the manga scene animator is saying like, "Fuck you, Tsurumaki. This is the most insanely stupid thing we ever had to animate. It took way too long. It was way too complicated. I hated every single second of working on this. Sure, it's beautiful, but it was production hell. We should never have to do this ever again." And Tsurumaki's like, episode 6 is coming up in production. Because they were recording the commentary as they were finishing the show. So they hadn't started working episode 6 yet. And the animator just screams, no, you motherfucker, no.
And then they do it again.
Yeah, he has to animate it again.
The
for episode 6.
madmen.
Tsurumaki
They
is
are.
an absolute god. I love him so much.
They are. It's great. I love it.
So yeah, anyone else have something to say about the visuals? I think that Mamimi is really cute in this episode. She has more cute frames per animation than usual.
She's this episode's pretty girl.
We have yet to bring up the elephant in the room, which is Haruko.
Oh, that too.
The pink-haired elephant.
Well,
yeah, but
her design quality is the one that stands out the most.
Yeah,
I think it stands out the least. Dude, I think Haruko's just character design looks the most like an anime character, so she stands out the least.
It pops out in that way the most because every other design is well grounded.
But even the way her eyes are shaped, they're much more jagged and triangular than all the other girls. She looks older, more like an adult.
Yeah, because she is older.
She's also the only character
and taller.
Well, that's not true.
Bigger.
She is the oldest character except for the dad and the grandpa.
Yeah. And all the people that are involved in the plot later.
Yeah.
I mean, she just comes in like a wrecking ball, basically.
Yeah, she comes in like a fright
Every
train.
other character has been introduced slowly and more nuanced, and she just comes in with this rocking theme song.
It's just like,
and just
fuck
smacks everyone
She's
over
there.
the head.
I came in like a Haruko.
Well, speaking of that, I know it's not necessarily visuals, but fuck, this is a part of the aesthetic. The music in this fucking series is lit.
Oh right, I forgot to.
I love the music.
Let's wait till we can just talk about that in full.
Yeah, that's something that it can't really be addressed on an episode by episode basis.
Yeah, we can just talk about the music as its own thing after we've done with episode 1, and then we can talk about
slightly
the music.
related though is the voice acting, which is
I prefer
very good for being as strangely amateur as it is.
Well, it's like amateur on purpose, right? Because they wanted to capture that non-anime feel, except for Haruko, who is an actual voice actor. Who's supposed to
sounds like
they even got a real weird... they even got people's kids, right?
Yeah, they got some animators' kids to do the really shitty classmates' voices.
Mamimi sounds like this really weird, off Japanese girl that just that doesn't have that cadence that you usually get with just any anime character that Haruko brings.
It sounds authentic.
All the characters are like that, really.
If you go to
none of them feel out of place, even though they're all newbie voice actors.
If you go to the Mao page for the voice actor of the guy who keeps saying choo choo, that classmate, there's a really salty comment from someone who wrote on his Mao page "You are the worst voice actor in the history of anime. Go kill yourself" or something.
Wow.
It's stupid as fuck. Because this kid was 13 when he recorded this shit.
Yeah.
It was just some dude's kid. It's insane.
Cool,
Yeah.
So that's episode 1.
No, now we can do the themes, dude.
The themes.
Let me talk about the themes.
This is going to be an abridged version of the themes because we can.
It's the second show going on.
Well, speaking of themes, one of the things that just sort of popped into my mind while we were talking about the whole voice actors.
Yeah.
Could one of the themes possibly be just something unreal coming into your world? Just because if everyone else is, if the only character who has an actual seiyuu is Haruko.
Yeah.
Then one of the big just general statements that the show makes is now it says, nothing ever interesting happens in this town. It's always boring.
Mm-hmm.
And then Haruko is clearly not.
She's clearly interesting,
boring, and normal.
She pops out as if the universe wants to contradict him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yes. She very much plays a contradiction there.
So the the biggest thematic run through of this episode is the whole bump on his forehead and
introducing the boner.
Yeah, his forehead.
And this sort of is it has two main things that you can read into it. Now there are 16 plus versions that you can read into it, but I have two.
It's literally a penis.
That's the first one. The first one is that it's literally a penis and it grows when he's horny because every single scene where it appears and starts growing a lot is scenes where he's with a girl. But then there's my favorite interpretation, which is the one I'll be talking about every single episode, which is how the horns on his head represent emotional trauma or stuff that he's trying to deal with.
Yeah.
So in the start, he's trying to deal, in this episode in generally, he's trying to deal with the fact that his brother is a piece of shit. like that, and he can't respect them anymore. And this has completely confused him about what an adult is and what he's supposed to grow up to become. And at first,
it also serves the more literal purpose of giving us the coolest fucking robot ever, Conti.
Yeah, but
the TV man.
Yeah, but if I can continue,
well, what's the thematic purpose of like, when everything is resolved?
I'll get to it.
Okay.
So he has this horn, right, and he keeps pushing it back into his head because he keeps internalizing the stress, right, about this whole brother situation, and he pushes it back in and he ignores it. Which is something that's brought up a lot in the manga scene. Like, they keep commenting about it. And also with the scene with in school with Ninamori and the other students. They keep talking about, like, how he's been... they keep commenting about him pushing it into his head and stuff. And him hiding something. Like, he's hiding his inner trauma under his Band-Aid. And there's the scene with Haruko and him in the room where she's sitting in the window, right? And she's like, what's under there? What's inside of your head, man? What's in there? And it's like, yeah, that's his trauma. But of course, there's also the more obvious thing of her using his head as a portal to summon the Pirate King. Like, that's the surface level plot. But then there's the deeper shit, which is like, this represents his internal trauma. And then on the bridge, he's talking to Mamimi, right? In this really iconic scene, probably the most iconic scene of the whole show, where she's smoking the cigarette, which says never knows best. And she's having this whole thing of like, I like watermelon and all these other things that are better than the brother. And then it sort of comes to a point where he's telling Mamami that the brother has a girlfriend, and Mamami freaks out and starts having her head going everywhere. And this brings Naota's trouble even more to the foreground, and he can't ignore it anymore. And he has this attack where he flings backwards and the things are just popping out, and it just explodes from his head. And he says it's bigger than before, which just means that the trouble is bigger than before, and so he has to confront it.
But it also means he got an erection.
Yeah, it also means he got an erection.
I think it just means that he got a more powerful erection than his very first erection, because he's just hitting puberty.
There's two meanings here. So, and I like the one of them more than the other. So
yeah,
everyone loves the boner one. I know that.
Fuck you.
That's the norm.
I don't think it's exclusively one or the other.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's both. I just like one of them more. I identify more with the internal struggle ones. So he has to confront his issues, which is like the hand robot. And his tool for confronting the issues is Kanti. And Kanti is like his vessel, which he confronts issues through. Kanti is like his proactive part. The part of his self that is like the part that does things. And so Kanti fights the other robot, and Naoto is just flung along because he can't handle it. Because he starts handling himself first in episode 2, when we'll get to that. But in this first fight, he just kind of flings along, and Kanti defeats the robot thanks to Haruko coming in and blasting it with her guitar. Which, I could talk about for hours about this. I'm gonna stop now. Did you feel like you got it, Phantom?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, the big issue that I had with the whole series, and I mentioned this while we were watching it, was that there's just so much.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much.
This is a really dense series.
It is very dense. That, like, it's not hard to get what's going on.
It's very frenetic.
But yeah, like, there's just so much that you need to sort everything out between episodes to just, like, okay, so that's what's going on.
Which is why you have to watch it so many times to sort of appreciate it.
Yeah.
And, that's why it's interesting to have you as a first-time viewer, because... Like you, I had a lot of issues with it the first time, to the point where I actually dropped it my first time through it, and I hated it until I've seen it at least 3 times before I really liked it.
I'll probably need to give it another watch at some point.
Yeah. It also helps to just watch individual episodes. Like, I've seen episode 1 way more than the rest of the show.
Oh, I've seen a lot of episode 1, because, like, I keep trying to get into it.
Yeah.
And then, like, something happens. Like, I watched episode 1 last night, but then a lot of shit came out, which I don't know if I'm going to say that here.
Yeah, no, we can. That's coming to defeating the condom machine. We're talking about it on there.
Yeah. Not spoiling anything for that.
Yeah. So that was the first episode. Now we can talk about the music.
Yeah,
this is like a fucking fantastic soundtrack.
So good.
It's like legendary at this point.
Objectively good.
So what is the best song?
The ED, probably.
Yeah, right on Shooting Star.
I'd
So
I
I'll
love
just
the
pick a
more than any
favorite.
other
You
song.
were asking way too much of me.
Beautiful Morning is the best song.
I'll go with that
morning with you.
Whichever song is currently playing is the best song.
I mean, yeah, all of it. All the music fits perfectly into what's going on.
My answer is the album, which is Happy Biovek. That's the Pillows album that they draw the music from.
I actually really liked Brand New Love Song.
That was pretty good. Yeah. It's
as well as
good
Runner's High.
But like I think that it fits the show in ways that is special.
Oh yeah, it is that like early to mid 2000s like alternative rock.
Yeah,
maybe
like
late
punk.
90s.
It's very punk.
And that's and this is like that same time period's alternative anime.
Yes.
Yeah, it's got that like just I don't want to say nostalgic, but it has
Dated.
that real.
It's dated,
dated,
but not like that's usually said as a bad thing. But like, it's dated in a good way.
I guess at that point it means vintage.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And it's really interesting that I can find
I still
that
think it
value in
resonates today, though. I think it fits even today. I don't think it has that.
Yeah,
that old. I
like,
think it's
very.
It's that kind of music that just it fits. It has that.
But you listen to it and
not
you
punk,
know,
but...
you know, okay, this was made like in the early 2000s, late 90s.
Which is strange by the fact that I was 4 years old back then, and Ghuntz was 2.
It just matches all the iconography that goes with it, like the Vespa, the guitars, now to just being this, like, you know, stuck-up kid that thinks he's better than everyone else and has all these just traumas he's trying to deal with.
Like,
and
what,
it just
was any of us
goes with everything.
in Naota's age when Fooly Cooly came out?
I was, but I never watched it when it came out. So
yeah,
I saw it on Toonami, but it wasn't until later that I really watched it.
Yeah, we never got it on TV up here in Canada. That's why it's like, oh, Fooly Cooly's a thing.
Yeah, so Phantom, you're like Digi's age, right? Or a bit older.
I am a year younger than Digi, so
okay, yeah, and I'm the same age as Mumkey, like born '96. So I was only 4 years old, and I was just getting into Pokemon when this shit came out.
The thing about Fooly Cooly is that like up here in Canada, it's not that common. Like only anime fans know about it. Like I only I legitimately only heard about Fooly Cooly. I mean, like maybe I heard about it, like seen stuff of it, but I've only actually heard people talk about it when I got back into anime a couple years ago.
Yeah, same. I found it in Demo's video about Ergo Proxy.
Yeah, so like I can totally see why people in America may have had easier access to it, just because like it did air on Toonami, but we never really got it on anything other than like maybe DVDs or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I also found it like this decade. It was like 4 to 5 years ago I found Fooly Cooly the first time when I first was getting back into anime.
Yeah, but I found out about it like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I know in America it's in the upper echelon of just almost household names.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Anyone who thinks
like,
they will watch anime, they've seen it.
It's like it's this Trigun Bebop.
Yes, that's the trio.
The Toonami core, Ghost in the Shell.
Well, Ghost in the Shell is still legitimately great, though.
Akira's also in this.
All of those are great.
Yeah,
I'm just
but they have more of a Western sensibility.
Yeah. No,
and the only modern show that sort of feels like it fits in this sort of category of shows is Space Dandy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Space Dandy was made to be like, hey, it was attracting the old Toonami crowd.
Exactly,
that's what they're going for.
It originally aired on Toonami.
Yeah, we should have Space Dandy should be covered in this show sometime, but
we'll get to it.
Yeah,
season 2.
We should get to episode 2.
Yeah, let's do that.
Firestarter.
So episode 2.
The plot of this episode is that a girl likes burning things.
Yeah.
And then she starts worshipping a robot as a god. And then she burns some things.
Yeah.
And then she stops.
Yeah. I think the big plot really starts happening in the end of it when you have the action sequence, right?
Yeah.
And we get Naota into the robot for the first time.
Get in the fucking robot, Naota.
Exactly. But I'll get to that.
It is a lot of just meandering on Mamimi's, not meandering, but it paces around about Mamimi's backstory. I hate saying her name.
Yeah.
And then all kind of builds up to...
It is her episode.
Yeah.
And it sort of... It expositions the fact that she's been bullied. Well, it doesn't actually exposition it. It shows us that she's been bullied through very cool cinematography.
It never feels like it's just padding or like it's.
The first time they do any kind of exposition in this show is in episode 6. Episode 6 has the first exposition in this entire show.
Mm-hmm. And even then, it's like not even.
Yeah, it's just a cut.
Barely a dump. It's just.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's cool, and she's been bullied because of the whole thing that happened with her, like being a weird ass girl, and also her boyfriend moving away. And she burnt down a school in the past because she was bullied. And she was sort of having a stable in part of her inside of the brother she was dating. And then he disappeared and cheated on her. And now everything's gone to shit. And she's trying to find stability in Naota, but he's a kid and he can't do it.
He tries his best.
Yeah. I'll get to that in the themes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because this episode is very light on plot, but very heavy on themes, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is.
Yeah.
So,
more
on the
so
visuals,
than the other one.
with the visuals...
This episode's also super heavy on some good cinematography.
Yeah.
It's pretty much carried by its good cinematography.
Like the shots of Ghuntz as a god.
This episode confirmed that Naota is a shit.
Well, yeah, he's 12. Was there ever a doubt?
He's literally a shit because he gets pooped out by Ghuntz. That's the joke. But yeah, no, there's a ton of Sakuga in the robot fight.
Oh, it was great. I loved it. I loved everything about it. That kick, though.
I know. I was screaming about the kick when it happened. It's so cool.
That kick, though.
He just blocks the hand and then he does like a triple spin before the kick. It's so much momentum in it.
Great.
Go watch the video by Everything I'm Painting about action comedy and then compare it to that fight scene. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It makes you go in every single kick and movement.
It's fantastic, stellar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
So the themes. Let's run down the themes of this episode. Naota now has a bump on the back of his head, right? A massive fucking bump. And then he has a very tiny bump on the foreground of his head. Mm-hmm. So my analysis of this is that he now has a problem that he's been brooding on for a long time, which is the fact that Mamami is bullied. And he has a small bump on the foreground of his head because he's starting to have it like be bothering him in his everyday life, and it's active now. But he mostly has pushed this to his subconscious. Like, he knows Mamami is having a bad time, but he's not really dealing with it. But then there's the scene on the bridge where they see her in the river being actively bullied and shit. And that's when it's brought out to his forehead, and now he has 2 massive horns. And then it's sort of brought to a head again when he finds her ready to burn down and shit.
Brought to a head.
Yeah! So it's brought to a head when he's forced to see her with all the cigarettes around her again, and that summons the next robot. Because the next robot he has to fight is this issue. And then this time, he's eaten by Ghuntz, and then he has an idea, right? There's like this light bulb that screws into his head, and he has an idea, which is him figuring out that, like, Mamami's problem is not something he can fix, it's something that he can support her through. Yeah. So he figures that out.
So then he gets in a robot and beats her problem and beats it in a mecha fight. Yeah. That's how he helps her.
And in the end of it, he beats up her problem in mecha fight, which is not him solving her problem, it's him supporting her through the problem, which you can see in the end of the fight where he puts his robot hand on her head and just gives her a head pat like, it's gonna be okay. You're gonna be fine. And that's why, like, Ghuntz becomes red light, right? Because it's him managing to fix a problem. Red Ghuntz is his tool through which he fixes problems.
Yeah.
It's also seen as, like, an adult, manly responsibility figure.
Exactly. It's him taking responsibility. So it's cool.
It is him realizing his coolness.
Yeah. It's not cool doing homework, though, as he says in the first episode.
Yeah, that's true.
But it is cool burning down your old school.
As Nate said,
it is cool.
The coolest thing is personal responsibility.
Fuck yeah. Best guy ever. But yeah, that's the theme of this episode. Like, that's how they visualize it, according to me. Like, this is one of the scenes where it's less manageable to talk about boners. It makes the boner reference makes more sense in the other cases, but this one is like a little bit less, I feel.
Yeah, it's like, okay, there are 2. One's in the back of his head, and now they're...
Yeah,
so
explain
it means
that
he
with
has
a dick.
3 dicks.
Stop it.
That's
we'll
what you get from this.
Maybe it's because he's trying to fuck 3 girls.
The next episode.
Exactly. It's because this is secretly a harem anime.
Yeah, it's Haruko, it's Mamami, and it's Ninamori.
Yep.
One dick for each girl.
I mean, they all do lewd things to him.
Yeah.
So.
So, we have episode 3, which is... What happened in episode 3, everyone? This is the Ninamori episode.
This is a lot of Ninamori plot, really.
Yeah, it's
almost all in, like...
Yeah,
having
she
to do
doesn't
with
get
Ninamori.
a whole lot of time in other episodes.
Yeah, but like there's very little Naota.
Yeah, it's very front loaded on her.
It starts off with her and her parents' secretary, because her parents are like a big political figure in their town.
What a big scandal, because his mother is cheating on someone.
Yes, and she's being driven around by her parents' secretary, who's, I want to say, very like adult and like a bit office lady, very business.
Yeah.
And so she's kind of given looks and very clearly thinking about that. And she talks about there's going to be a play at the school. That's where the whole episode's kind of centered around this big play.
Yep.
And what exactly happens after that?
Like, there's two things, right? So Ninamori is doing the play together with Naota, but Ninamori is dealing with her mother's issues and and like her personal troubles at home. And meanwhile, Naota's dealing with the fact that he's kind of in love with Ninamori, or like she's in love with him, and he's trying to deal with it. So there's both of those two issues, right? And that's why in this case, the robot pops out of her head and not out of his head. But we'll get to that. So the play is happening, and she's hiding up from her family's issues by living with Naota for a day. And we get the hottest scene in anime that created Best Guy Ever.
Can I just say?
I mean,
can I just say that during that scene, she looked like younger Masato?
Yeah, totally.
With glasses.
Definitely.
I think that's just the purple hair.
Yeah, me too. I don't see it.
Oh yeah, that's
and Gainax's character designs.
Yeah, it's purple hair, but it's a purple-haired Gainax character. It looks similar.
I mean, I can see it, but I don't see it.
I mean, maybe it's because I know what young Masato looks like. We all should do.
Yeah, but like it looks like if Masato wasn't Fooly Cooly, that's what a younger version of her would look like.
Is there a younger version of Masato in the rebuilds?
Not yet.
Yeah. There's like an image still.
Because that would be how Tsurumaki would draw Masato as a young person. So if it's just Tsurumaki drawing young Masato, then. But anyway, she's
patrician fetish is girls wearing your clothes,
and also girls wearing glasses.
Yes, well,
yes,
wearing glasses, quote unquote.
Yeah, we get.
And also girls saying "pretty cool," right?
That's pretty cool, right?
That's pretty good, right?
Oh yeah, we watched this sub though, so we didn't get the dub thing. But yeah, that's the big
Japanese
best guy
objectively better.
Yeah, it is better.
Yeah.
We watched it with bad subs though. We watched the fucking Anime Supreme subs because we were watching it on the online service. And everyone, watch the fucking Elysium subs. They're 10 times better.
How are the Funimation subs? Because those are on YouTube from them.
I haven't seen them. I've only seen the Elysium ones until now, when I also saw these shit subs.
I think Funimation will probably be somewhere between what we watched and Elysium.
Yeah.
Is there at least a company?
Has anyone else here seen the Elysium subs?
I haven't. This is my
ones.
If you've seen
I clearly have.
You have.
That's the one. That's the ones I torrented, so I'll watch those later.
I'll link it to all
of you.
Took
you guys a while.
I'll link
the
Nyan page to all of you after. They're the best subs.
Okay.
So
to get back to the plot, we were talking about Ninamori, and she's basically sleeping over at Naota's house, and she's putting him in a corner. Like, she wants the D.
Yeah.
Pretty obvious.
But he's
Naota's not having
he's still with his situation with Mamami and stuff, so he's not that confident in it.
Well, he's also probably just real nervous of everything.
Oh yeah, because he
has a lot to be nervous about.
Yeah.
Side note: Wata's picture and this episode.
Yeah, that's where the picture's from.
Mm-hmm.
It's my picture.
Her USSR shirt. She is clearly a communist. We need to red pill her.
Dude, So to people listening to this who aren't on the Discord, which is no one, my picture on the Discord is Nina Mori in the USSR shirt from this episode.
We'll make that the image for this episode.
Yeah, we'll make it the image. If someone can edit Digibro's face onto it.
Oh.
You need to edit Digibro's face onto Nina Mori picture.
And if we didn't do this, like...
God damn it.
Okay, we just, like, committed now.
Yeah, we committed.
We need to... Yeah, yes.
Phantom, you're like a visual girl guy. You can do it.
Girl, wait, what?
You can edit pictures, right? You're an animator. You can... Dude.
I mean, sure, I actually do graphic design too, so yeah, sure, I could do it. You want me to...
Yes, edit Digi's face onto my profile picture.
Yeah. Oh, onto your profile picture. Yeah. Okay, sure.
Just do that. It will be great.
Sure.
So anyway, we are... in this episode goes on. This episode continues with them doing the play after a traffic scene where Haruko fucks up traffic, and we get another one of those nice little rotoscope thingies. Wait, Brandon disappeared. Oh, well, whatever. Let's keep going. So, and then we move on to the play, and the play happens, and we also got to know in the lewd scene that Nina Mori cheated the play. She hacked it so that Naoto would be her sex slave, and then that's what happened.
and then she grew 3 obvious penises out of her head.
Oh yeah,
and then she forces Naoto to eat muff.
Exactly. Right. And also she becomes a monster on the roof. Most important
part of the episode.
She becomes a fiddler on the roof, and Naoto fights her with Kanti again. So, the visuals. We've dragged on with this plot for ages.
Yeah.
What happened in the visuals of this episode?
The robot was a spider.
Yeah. It was cool. And
I want to talk about that enemy design that we saw, because that was really weird.
Yeah, the robot.
Say something.
Yes, it was like a spider thing, but with like... It also sucked on her head, I think. It was just hanging from her head.
Yeah, we didn't address this before, but the robot designs in this are fucking top.
Yeah, they are.
They are very good.
And
of course, didn't Anno?
Hideaki Anno was the mechanical designer for this show.
Yeah, and the voice actor of the cat.
Yeah.
I mean, you say mechanical, but a lot of those designs are not very like mechanical in the way they move. They're very organic.
Well, he's the guy who made Evangelion. Of course, his robot designs are more organic.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No fucking duh. Yeah. I wonder if Brandon knows that he's out of the car. Oh, whatever. So we had another one of those CGI moving around shots that happened. Mm-hmm. Was this one as cool, Phantom?
No.
Okay.
I mean, like, it was more mind blowing the first time.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was 2D.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
But then you guys broke the illusion. It's like, no, it was CG.
So it's our fault.
I saw Daikon, and I knew that Anno could do that shit if he wanted to.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's our fault that you didn't enjoy it?
Yes! Fuck you guys! Fuck you guys!
We literally red-pilled you on the animation of this cut.
Fuck you guys!
It's your fault that you can't just like 3D.
Yeah. Despite being a 3D animator.
I can like 3D, it's just it was less impressive.
It's still impressive.
But the fact that it made you think it was 2D is what's impressive about it.
Yeah.
I guess.
Because we red-pilled you on it, but if you hadn't been red-pilled on that, you would have still thought it was 2D.
That's true, I guess.
That's the illusion.
Also, on the visuals, I want to mention that the robot in this episode, like the big monster that comes out of Nina Moore's head, is probably the inspiration for the monster in Kyokai no Kanada episode 6, where they fight a big thing on the roof. Because they fight on a rooftop, which this thing is also found on a rooftop. And it's like this big eyeball thing, which this thing is also like a big round eyeball thing. And it explodes into orange juice, and this thing also explodes into orange juice. The difference is that this one is defeated with curry, and that monster is almost defeated with an idol scene. So, also that is the worst episode of Kyokai no Kanada, because it's the filler episode. But yeah,
that sounds like the best episode.
It's pretty famous for being such a weird ass fucking filler episode. Go watch Demolition D's video on it. It's good.
Just stop watching this podcast and go watch Demolition D.
That is a generally good advice for everyone.
Good advice.
This podcast is trash.
Yeah, it is trash. It's supposed to be trash.
Don't admit it. That ruins the illusion.
Go watch Feeding the Condom Machine.
You guys ruined my illusion.
Was there ever any illusion that this podcast was any good?
I mean, there's an illusion that anything on Digibois is good except for Feeding the Condom Machine, which is the only good podcast on this channel.
It's the only one Digi ever said. If Digi watches it, yeah, it's good.
It is good because I designed and made it. I had the idea for it. It's my podcast. Of course it's good.
Yeah, take the credit for it, of course.
I guess I'm also in it too.
Yeah, Ghuntz is also in it. And Ghuntz is cute, so it's great.
Yes.
So the themes of this episode, I'm not gonna talk about that much anymore. It was more personal issues, yada yada yada. Go figure it out. Watch the show.
Yeah, best girl is just being best girl.
Yeah. Greato, episode 4. What was cool about episode 4?
The
baseball.
Oh, some guy came in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But the baseball in particular.
Yeah.
I like the guy with the sushi eyebrows.
Yeah. And the South Park. Literally just South Park.
I fucking lost my shit at that. No, that's next episode, I think.
That's what you think?
I'm pretty sure. I think that's next episode.
Was it?
But, yeah, either way, at that South Park thing, I lost my fucking shit.
Yeah, because you didn't know it was coming, did you?
I did not.
Yeah.
Like, what
I
the
totally
fuck?
Forgot. And the thing is, like, South Park had only been running for a couple of years at the point that this was made. You know, it's not like...
So it's
not like it was a huge cultural phenomenon.
Yeah, it's a deep cut reference.
Do you think anybody in Japan would have understood that?
I don't think like it's that big in Japan now. Even
I'm pretty sure that the Japanese dub for South Park had not been made yet at this point.
Yeah, so like that's like that being total Westaboos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, you know...
I mean, we all know Imaishi is the biggest Westaboo.
Yeah.
We know that. So, anyway... fuck the plot of the show. Let's do this episode. The themes that happen is that... it's a very different structure, right, than the other episodes. Because most of these episodes so far have been... A lot of different points have been commented on in the same scene. But in this episode, the same point is commented on in many different scenes. So it's like the opposite.
Because all about sex.
No. It's, yes and no. It's all about Digi-song get action.
Yes.
It's all about you gotta swing the bat and actually fucking do something, or you are a worthless piece of shit who never does anything. That's what it means. Just
swing the bat, get to third base, actually have sex.
Yeah. Exactly. And they say this in like a bunch of different ways. By the way, Brandon's not coming back, isn't it? Cut out. So, he's sending me what he has. The recording's fine. Okay. So, anyway, this episode sort of comes to the whole thing where finally the big meteorite is swinging from, the missile is coming from the sky like the fucking Fat Man and Atom Bomb. And then it devolves into a baseball glove. And then it tosses a baseball, which is the actual meteorite. And then Naoto swings at it with his guitar bat. And he finally fucking swings the bat. And it's cool.
Yeah.
It's like Haruko always told him to be.
I like the robot was a glove.
Yeah. Literally just a glove.
Yeah, it's really cool. And it also kind of foreshadows the next robot. Because the next robot looks to be a person and then turns out to be a glove as well.
Yeah.
Actually, the first robot was also a glove.
They're all gloves.
They're all gloves. I never thought about this before.
And the last one is a hand.
Didn't you mention that? You were the one who mentioned that they're all gloves.
Maybe I did. I never actually...
You did. While we were watching it, you were like,
I never consciously thought about it before.
That's why I wasn't like putting too much emphasis on it, because I figured if he felt it was important, he would have brought it up.
No, this is what I meant. Every time I watch Fooly Cooly, I realize something new.
Yeah.
Like this time in episode 3, we had that cut where we see a face in a piece of animation, and I never noticed that before. And now I noticed it. So yeah, every time with Fooly Cooly, I can watch it 100 times, I'll still realize something new every time. Best anime ever made. No questions. So, episode 4 is really cool because he swings the bat.
Yeah, he finally nuts up and has sex.
Yes, he mans up and has sex. That is pretty much what
Except
happens.
it's also a metaphor for literally everything else.
For just doing everything.
Yes,
exactly.
everything is a metaphor for everything.
That was a very elegant way of putting it.
Yes.
I would say. So yeah. Visuals in episode 4. Anything special that stood out?
In episode 4?
Yeah.
The baseball scene where he's hitting the baseball.
Well, yeah, I guess that's...
Yeah.
Okay.
That kind of overshadows
the fucking
everything else.
city destroyed itself.
Yeah. It is a really, really cool climax that isn't really topped in any other climax in the show. Even the last episode doesn't really have as cool a climax, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So,
like, if the show had ended here, I don't think anyone would have minded, honestly.
I would have, because I would have had less Fooly Cooly. Fuck you. Look, the greatest asset of Fooly Cooly is that it's only 6 episodes long, but the greatest shame about Fooly Cooly is that it's only 6 episodes long.
But it won't be anymore. It's going to be 18 episodes.
Perfect.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
We'll bring that up later.
No, let's not. Anyway, episode 5, let's talk about Imaishi.
Oh my god, I love that episode.
Imaishi is literally the greatest human to ever exist.
Yep. Imaishi is literally the greatest human to ever live. This is very
Pretty
true.
cool
Imaishi is a god.
Yeah.
Pretty cool guy.
He is the GOAT.
He is the GOAT animator.
He loves guns too, a lot of them.
He almost said like you said Ghuntz.
Yeah.
He loved Ghuntz too as well, a lot of them.
No.
Imaishi wants a bunch of clones of me.
I think episode 4 has the best single moment, but I think episode 5 is better, but it's spread throughout the episode.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like, there's no single moment that is as good as the baseball scene, but there's a bunch of moments that are almost as good.
So when it comes to Imaishi, I think we have to read from the Bible of Digibois, which is his blog, this old piece of scripture. So it goes like this. Yo, my flow is never static because my style is erratic, and fanatics get ecstatic when they see what I got cooking in the attic because my mind is
I'm taking my earphones off.
Creating my visual acrobatics. Your style seems dramatic, but you think it's cinematic, but the truth is that your flow shows like a fucking asthmatic. I've had it, but your style with my semi-automatic. That's right, I got guns and making characters run, and you know I'm in charge when you'll be seeing something fun. Gainax wouldn't be the same without me. They never leave me out because I know they never doubt me. My fans and followers keep track of my series devoutly, so you should think twice before you fucking try out me, bitch. That's written by Digibois about Imaishi.
You have just ruined the genre of Swedish rap for me.
I cannot rap. This is true. I have no
that one shot with Naota at the end. This whole episode has Imaishi written all over it.
Yeah,
and I love it.
Can you tell us some of the
it literally has Imaishi written all over it.
Yeah.
As an animator, can you go through some of the calling cards that you can call out from Imaishi's animation?
There's this one There's this one shot where, by the way, when I say shot, I mean cuts. In Western animation, we call them shots. There's this one shot where Haruko has super thick outlines, and that just sort of felt like it's something like like Trigger, like something that you would see in Trigger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That opening scene with where they're doing BB guns. It felt like the way he did his posing, the way he did the negative space and everything, maybe that's a good way of putting it. It just felt like it felt similar to Gurren Lagann.
Yeah,
and that's how I'm comparing it, because like I haven't seen all of his cuts, but I have watched Gurren Lagann, and every shot that looked close to Gurren Lagann, I assumed like, okay, you had something
you can get
very
that the
big
guy who made Gurren Lagann worked on this.
Yes,
it is not a stretch.
Indeed. Like, just the way that the soft airball scene looks a lot like the fight scene with Vyro in episode 3 or 4 of Gurren Lagann. Or episode 2? Maybe it's episode 2. Whatever.
The one scene where he's like, "Never call me Takun again!" That literally, like, I got the same feeling as I got with
Simone.
When Simone became a man in Gurren Lagann.
That is very true.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to find a meme that I was gonna meme on everyone, but I couldn't find it, so I don't know what the exact wording is anymore.
Yeah, sorry if I'm not paying attention as much anymore. I'm working on this Digibro pick.
Of course you are. So this episode also had the big Daikon 5 moment.
Yeah.
Daikon 5! Daikon 5!
I'm still waiting.
I love how
Daikon
before
6.
that she says like, "Oh my god, your thing is so small."
Yes.
Yeah. The guy has a small penis.
He does have a very small penis. And at that point, he says, "You're always toying with my emotions," confirming my theory that they represent their emotions. Yes, saying.
Yeah.
As she's toying with his bump. Also kind of showing that he's an alien, I guess, is the other point.
I mean, he has seaweed eyebrows, so, you know.
The seaweed eyebrows represent him trying to hide the fact that he's still a kid, though. Like, they represent him forcing himself to be an adult.
Yeah, they're fake eyebrows.
Yeah. They're like an impression thing. It's really cool. And then we have the final episode.
I have no idea what the fuck I just watched.
This is where shit gets weird.
Yeah, it does get really weird. But,
like, I see a lot of people compare... Because, like, the Gainax ending is, like, the famous, confusing, bizarre ending. But, like, is this one really
I don't think
that
it's confusing or bizarre. I think it's just over the top.
Yeah.
It's the Gainax ending.
Like, a lot of people are confused about this ending, but I don't really get that. Like, it explains itself well. It's dumb and bizarre, but it's never... It explains everything that you need to know.
Yeah. So, Phantom, as a guy who's never seen this show before, recap episode 6 for me.
You're putting me on the spot here, man.
Exactly.
Well, fuck you then. It's the climax. Let's see. Fuck, man. Sorry, I honestly don't know what the fuck I just watched with that. All I remember was there's this one part where he goes in and they start like, "What is Fooly Cooly?" And they're like, "It's fucking nothing. Don't question it."
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
Oh,
and so yeah, this show is fucking nothing. It's trash. You should never watch it.
No, fuck you.
It was too deep for you.
Oh. It's too deep for all of us. We don't deserve Fooly Cooly.
I have literally spent the past 5 hours explaining to you that I understand Fooly Cooly.
No one understands Fooly Cooly.
Oh yeah,
and everyone understands Fooly Cooly. No,
what if you got it wrong?
I found it really cool when like he got eaten by the thing, and then he went fucking super. I honestly felt so lost through that whole last episode. I need to watch it again.
Yeah,
it's certainly a trip.
So the first thing that happens is that we see them using chopsticks in the classroom in order to not get Alzheimer's.
Mm-hmm.
How does that work? I don't get that. I legit don't get that.
There's that.
I think it's fine motor control.
Yeah, it's motor control. It's like doing puzzles.
But
it's
they're
actual
kids.
Science.
They're kids.
I mean,
yeah, but
that's a good way of teaching it into them. Like, for example, if you learn a language or something like that as a young age, you tend to have less potential of Alzheimer's or
Like,
other
So wait. Does this mean that because my girlfriend and I eat a lot of sushi, and sushi is typically eaten with chopsticks in the West?
It isn't. You're
that
doing it
my
because
wrong.
you're an old man now. It doesn't matter.
West.
You're an old man now.
But I'm saying, does that mean that like I'm not going to get Alzheimer's because I ate sushi?
If you
no,
if
because
you
you
do
did
it
it as an adult.
consistently, if you do it consistently, it'll help.
We have it like every weekend.
Yeah, then that will help.
Good.
Sweet, I'm not getting Alzheimer's. Thank you, sushi.
No,
Thank you.
Maybe.
Japan.
I mean, maybe you are. You don't know that, but
Yeah.
there's a chance that you might not.
Well, let me believe. Don't ruin my illusion like you did before.
Yeah, so
Definitely Alzheimer's.
after they make sure they don't get Alzheimer's, we have a shot of Mamimi finding the new Takun, which is the dog that keeps eating things. Because she's not
The
allowed to
robot
call
dog.
Naoto Takun anymore, so she finds a new Takun.
That dog is adorable as fuck, and I
Okay, we'll talk.
I want one.
No, because then it'll eat everything around me and then eat me.
Okay, that doesn't sound like a problem.
You want to get eaten by a robot dog?
I mean, it'd be a unique experience,
You'll be dead.
You will be very dead.
but no one else would have been able to say that they've been eaten by a robot.
Yeah, you won't be able to say it either because you'll be dead.
You know, when we get to the final scene then, of them sort of coming to a head. So the dog grows, right? And it becomes this, the core, and it merges with Kanti. And then it like bonds together with the big hand, and they pick up the iron, and they steam out the world. And that whole thing
or they're
comes
trying
in.
to.
Yeah, but then Naota bursts into Sakuga Naota, which is his final form, and he's now red. And I mean, he's really cool. Like, has anyone really been far even has decided to use Even Go 1 to do look more like with that scene? It's so fucking good.
It is really good.
Yeah. Hey, I don't think we've emphasized just how good this looks yet.
This whole show looks amazing.
Yeah, like as I said about the
orgasms.
visuals, has anyone really been far even has decided to use Even 1 to do more look like? It's the visuals are just that good.
Yeah.
You fucking asshole.
I found the meme. I found the meme I was looking for. It's great.
But yeah, it's probably one of the best looking anime ever made.
Yeah, it is the best looking anime ever made.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone have an anime they think looks better?
I think there's an argument to be made for some of Trigger and Gainax's other shows.
Yeah, so you could argue for the other Imaishi shows.
Yeah,
legitimately think
Evangelion is my aesthetic, so I think personally I think that looks better. But
I personally actually am more adverse to Triggers and KyoAni shows.
Okay.
Yeah.
But regardless, this show looks amazing.
Yeah, for me, the shows that can come close are the new Bone stuff, like Mob Psycho, as well as like some of the KyoAni stuff, especially the KyoAni cinematic stuff, like the K-On! Movie and the latest Kono Katachi, and also the Diebuster, which is the other Tsurumaki show, the other Tsurumaki OVA. Which is another really, really good-looking thing. And also the Satoshi Kon movies, especially Tokyo Godfathers, which is the best-looking Satoshi Kon movie. So.
I'd put Perfect Blue up there. And
Guys,
Jinro.
I finished the thing.
Yay, you finished the thing. Great-o.
Perfect.
It is absolute perfection. I love that you made his face. Great.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that is the thumbnail for this video.
Yes.
Everyone look at the video. Just look at your video, and you'll see what we're talking about.
Yeah, I was working on it while people were talking.
Oh my god. Yeah, well, I was going through an old Digibois video to find that meme, so I could Google that meme and find the text. It's the best ever. So anyway, about the ending. It's cool. I like it.
Yeah.
It's him realizing that adults are not cool and you don't need to be like the old pretend adults to be cool. You can just be yourself. And also he kisses Haruko, so she wins.
And she tells him he's a kid.
Yeah, and then the Pirate King becomes a
fuck
phoenix,
off.
and everything is awesome!
Yep.
It was really cool to see that, because this whole time, like, I wasn't able to get all of the details of it, obviously. I just liked the whole plot was literally just Naota growing up and realizing, okay,
yeah, it's a story about puberty.
I could just be whatever the fuck I want, and I like that.
Like, the best way to describe it is it's about the time when you're not a child anymore, but you're not an adult.
Yep.
It's very confusing adolescence.
That's exactly what it's about. I think that in the chronology of Gainax shows, and being a 14-year-old in order to fully enjoy Gainax shows, should you watch Fooly Cooly before Evangelion or after Evangelion?
I think after.
You should watch it before. I think before. Because there's a lot of stuff in Eva that is... Well, Eva's darker. Eva's deals with more, like, fucked up shit. Well, Fooly Cooly is just kind of fun all around.
Yeah, well, this was made to be a breather after Eva.
I say it depends, because like everyone is going through different shit, right?
Yeah.
If you're a depressed little boy, watch Eva. If you're a confused little boy, watch Fooly Cooly. If you're a happy little boy, why the hell are you watching anime? Do something better with your life.
Yeah, be a Ghuntz.
What about Gurren Lagann?
Yeah,
but that's not Gainax.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Gainax. It is Gainax.
Oh yeah, shit.
It's very
so trigger. It's so trigger that I forgot that it was Gainax.
But it is Trigger.
That's how Trigger it is.
Yeah.
Trigger is the team that worked on that show, and also Panty Stocking is the team that became Trigger.
Yeah, that's why it's so hard to think of Gurren Lagann and Panty and Stocking.
Yeah,
because they are Trigger shows. Because, they're Trigger shows. I think of them as Trigger shows. I forget that they're Gainax shows.
And that's just
all
because
the time.
They're Imaishi shows, and Imaishi is the guy who created the image of Trigger.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is why I'd say that, like, something like Little Witch Academia is less Trigger than Gurren Lagann and Panty and Stocking.
I mean...
I disagree.
It's just not Imaishi.
Yeah, because but for me, Trigger is Imaishi.
No, I disagree because it definitely does have a lot of Trigger moments.
It's very Trigger.
Oh yeah, the last episode of Little Witch Academia is like a Gainax ending.
Yeah,
it is Trigger.
And there's also like the robot scene in episode 18.
I love that.
Yeah, where it literally. Okay, but moving away from Little Witch Academia.
Right. Sorry.
No!
I was supposed to keep this podcast.
You can never have enough Little Witch Academia.
I was supposed to keep this podcast on topic. And the guy who derailed us.
Yay!
Christ.
Okay, so one thing that I think we should talk about is Fooly Cooly 2 and 3.
Okay.
Should it happen?
End on this.
Should it happen?
It's going to anyway, so...
Yeah, let's not talk about should it happen. Let's talk about how to deal with it happening.
Can it...
Alright, I have the perfect answer. Here's the perfect answer for what to do. Just don't.
Yeah.
Just don't.
What is happening?
I have to watch it. I have to watch it.
No, yeah.
Okay.
Watch it,
right, no,
and then you
separate
it from the original.
If it's good, cool. Maybe you can find ways to connect it to the original. If it's bad, there is no Avatar movie. There is no Avatar movie. You get what I mean?
But dude, there literally isn't an Avatar
anime.
movie because they weren't allowed to call it Avatar. It's just called The Last Airbender.
There is no Last Airbender movie.
There's going to be 9 more Avatar movies.
Shyamalan was never born.
There's going to be 9 more Avatar movies, but no more Last Airbender.
Okay, but I mean, my piece about Fooly Cooly 2 and 3 is that I feel like they shouldn't happen, but I feel like I feel like it has the potential to be a legitimate successor to Fooly Cooly. Because from what we don't know a whole ton about the story yet.
The Pillows are making the soundtrack.
Yeah, well,
yes.
I need to watch it for that. But it's also it's not being a sequel to Fooly Cooly.
I mean, it's
Haruka's coming back, but it's none of the other characters are.
Yeah, it's trying to just have the same aura.
Yeah, it's the same thing in a different place, and hopefully the story will justify the same thing happening again.
Also, we've completely ignored the fact that Production IG was also
Yeah,
the production company behind this.
Yeah, production did do a lot.
We've been mentioning Gainax over and over.
But that's because Gainax had creative control, and IG did a lot of the like hard work and animation of the non-super creative show parts of this show.
Yes, and now the two sequels are being done by Production IG.
Because they own the copyright.
At least the first one is.
Production IG
and
the
Fooly Cooly 3 is
Gainax
being done by Production IG and 2 studios who are very inexperienced.
So which one is doing Fooly Cooly 2? Because we know Studio Nut is working on...
Just IG.
Yeah, just IG. But Studio Nut, who made Yojo Senki back in winter 2017, they're also working on it.
Yep.
Which,
so when it comes to
Senki, there's some good animation in that show.
Yeah, there's some good animation, but it is still worrying because that's literally the only thing that they've worked on in the studio.
But the animation in JoJo Senki is very similar to some of the Trigger stuff. It is like more in that vein. Yeah, they're a good fit. It's better than like Studio M2 doing it. If you're gonna take like a studio's only done one show.
Yeah.
And it's better. Like it's the only studio that I could see doing a better job is Studio Freehertz.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only one.
If they had the manpower.
Yeah, which they don't. Studio Freehertz is.
They have Production IG helping them.
Have you guys seen pictures of the Studio Freehertz studio, like their actual house? It's literally just a bunker, like a white bunker under another building, like a basement area with like no windows.
Yep.
It's really, really humble.
I think we've said our stuff now.
Yeah, I think we're done with this podcast.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
So I've never been on one.
Go check out the other stuff we make.
Yeah, check out Feeding the Comic Machine.
Yeah,
and go check out the channels in the sidebar and subscribe to them.
Yeah, exactly. Subscribe to Digibro.
I'm totally not biased. My channel totally isn't in there.
Neither is mine. And my Fooly Cooly anime analysis video, which is made from my university and should not be watched seriously. But it's a 4-minute rundown of why I like Fooly Cooly, explaining several points that I explained here, which I made yesterday.
Here's an idea. Don't subscribe to any of them.
No, don't.
Because they're all trash.
Yep.
They are all trash.
Do subscribe to Digibois, though.
Yes.
Digibois! Digibois is the best one!
Because Digibois...
Don't forget to go to patreon.com/BenSaint.
And Digibro. Patron Digibro.
And Digibro.
Come to the Discord with us.
Yeah, you too can be in this with us.
Yeah.
This train wreck.
You only need $1 to Digibro to be in the Discord. And just like Phantom does. And that way... you can be.
Yeah, call them out on it. Why don't you?
I pay $3. Look, I'm raising my Patreon next month.
All white names are the same. So I don't care. Anyway, yay! Thank you for listening. Do you guys have like a way to end these shows? Because I haven't been on these shows before, so I don't know. Do you have like a phrase?
Everyone say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
If you're still here listening to me, you should fucking kill yourself.
Everything's a dildo if you're brave enough, right? Everything's a dildo if you're brave enough, right? Everything's a dildo if you're brave enough, right? Everything's a dildo if you're brave enough, right?
If you're still here listening to me, you should fucking kill yourself. If you're still here listening to me, you should fucking kill yourself. If you're still here listening to me, you should fucking kill yourself. If you're still here listening to me, you should fucking kill yourself. If you're still here listening to me, you should fucking kill yourself. If you're still here listening to me, you should fucking kill yourself. If you're still here listening to me, you should fucking kill yourself. If you're still here listening to me, you should fucking kill yourself.
I paid $3.
If you're still here listening to me, you should fucking kill yourself.
I paid $3.
If you're still here listening to me, you should fucking kill yourself.
I paid $3.
If you're still here listening to me, you should fucking kill yourself.
I paid $3.
If you're still here listening to me, you should fucking kill yourself.
I paid $3. I paid $3. I paid $3. I paid $3.
My name is Whatta.
There is no last airbender. There is no last airbender. There is no last airbender. There is no last airbender.
Moving away from Little Check It Deep.
You can never have enough Little Witch. There is no last airbender.
Moving away from Little Check It Deep.
You can never have enough Little Witch. There is no last airbender.
You're
Yay!
Yay! You too can be in this with us.
Yeah. Has anyone really been, or even has decided to use, even want to do more look like? Has anyone really been, or even has decided to use, has anyone really been, or has anyone really even has decided to use, has anyone really been, or has anyone even decided to use, has anyone really been, or even has decided to use, even want to do more look like?
I love that! I paid $3. I paid $3. I paid $3.
If you're still here listening to me,
you can never have enough little I can get $3.
If you're still here listening to me,
you can never have enough little I can get $3.
If you're still here listening to me,
you can never have enough little I can get $3.
If you're still here listening to me,
you can never have enough little I can get $3.
If you're still here listening to me,
has anyone really been, or even has decided to use,
if you're still here listening to me,
look like?
I love that! I paid $3.
No! If you're still here listening to me,
has anyone really been, or even has decided to
no!
If you're still here listening to me,
look like?
I love that! I paid $3.
No! If you're still here listening to me,
has anyone really been, or even has decided to
no!
If you're still here listening to me,
look like?
I love that! I paid $3.
No! If you're still here listening to me,
has anyone really been, or even has decided to
no! If you're still here listening to me,
look like?
I love that!
One thing that I think we should talk about is Fooly Cooly 2 and 3. They shouldn't happen, but I feel like I feel like it has the potential to be a legitimate successor to Fooly Cooly.
There's gonna be 9. 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 There's gonna be 9.
I feel like they shouldn't happen, but I feel like it has the potential to be a legitimate successor.
My name is Whatta.
Anything's a dildo if you're brave enough, right? 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 Anything's a dildo if you're brave enough, right?
Pretty.